Salina. It's a vibe, baby. Oak Cliff girl, way made you change my world. Damn, you're so fine, girl. Oak Cliff girl, put them heels on and rule.
Welcome to Selena's Couch, where you are welcome to be free to be yourself. So you can lay your head on my couch, on my pillows.
It's all good, we can do whatever we wanna do now. I'm in my bag right now, and I got a feeling, babe, yeah. You're gonna be my number one lover. Screaming like making love to each other, with the lights on top of the covers, just me and you, babe. And I feel like you're my
Love you to Reese's Pieces.
Get you a word. Nana nana boo boo.
Hello. Thank you for joining me tonight. This is a very special guest that I will be having to come up today. Life with TaShonna. I met her on a panel, Miss Akimi's panel, and she always, when I met her, she had a very positive, very beautiful spirit, and I connected with her on IG, and I also went to her channel and saw all the beautiful things that she does on her channel. She does a lot with gardening. She gives you advice on, how to plant different things, vegetables and fruits. And she's just very inspiring. And just the things that she's going through right now it caught her off blindside. It could catch anybody off blindside. And it's dear to me because not only do I think that she's a special person, because I have even experienced this in my own family, where I've had people to have cancer. Some have survived and some have passed on. And I wanted to invite her on my platform to tell her story. And so I would like for you guys to welcome with, open arms, and just welcome Life with TaShonna. Thank you so much for being a part of my live today. When I heard just a little bit of your story, I knew that I had to have you on here and just to share your journey with us. I'm going to cam up a little bit. Unfortunately, my Wi-Fi is not working. I don't know. It's very slow. Hey, Cutting Edge. Hey, Movado. My Wi-Fi is very slow. I just found that out when I was about to go live. So I'm just going to cam up on my phone. Hey, everybody. How's everybody doing? I hope everybody's doing well. Hey, Life with TaShonna. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good today. I'm gonna cam up in just a few minutes. I'm just holding off
Oh, you
just
don't
waiting.
look. You don't have to cam up. I just want to, because like I said, I'm not on my laptop
Okay.
for whatever reason because of my internet going really slow. So I'm on my phone. So I'm gonna cam down. Just to make you feel more comfortable, I'm just letting everybody know, hey, I'm here. Because I try to cam up sometimes, but sometimes I just don't feel like it. But yeah, you don't have to cam up if you don't want to.
I'm definitely gonna come on camera because I like to do the eye contact and that type of stuff. It just makes me feel more respectful when I do that. So I know I
I
sometimes
understand.
I be the only weirdo sometimes be on somebody's panel with the camera.
I understand. Yeah. So, hey, everybody. Hey, Action, Cutting Edge, CX, Naomi, Brian. Good to see you. I know you guys are back and forth because the MD is live, but I definitely think that this is a story that a lot of people need to hear, especially those people that have been through. Any cancer scares, or you have family members that have dealt with cancer. Cancer is a very serious thing, and people go through all different types of emotions when they first find out that they have cancer. And I always bring up the story about, I don't tell too much about my personal life, but someone that was really dear to me was my brother-in-law. And most of you have heard me talk about my sister and how one of my sisters could have actually been my mother, and her husband was actually could have been like, he was like a dad to me, as well as a brother-in-law, a brother. So he was all things in one. And when he got the news that he had stage 4 cancer and he had 4 to 6 weeks to live, it was devastating, not only to maybe, to him, but it was also devastating to the whole family, and especially my sister, his children. And we definitely, when we first found out about it, I mean, it just took us for a loop, but just imagine how he felt. But all of that, my brother-in-law still kept a positive attitude. He still had faith. He never gave up. And he, God ended up extending him at least one and a half more years after that. So he was able to see his daughter, his youngest daughter, graduate with her master's as well as her law degree. And that was what he prayed to God for. So those are the things I think about. And I've also heard of some surviving stories. I have another relative, my dad's niece. She had breast cancer and she survived through it. It's so many different stories that we've heard. We've heard people survive, and we've heard people that have transitioned. But each and every story, it's always something. It's always something to really just listen to people and see what they have to go through, and the emotions that these people go through is like, I would say it's like a whirlwind. It catches you off guard. No one wakes up and thinks, "Oh, I have cancer," and sometimes some people find out a little too late. And so, thank you, Life with TaShonna, my girl. Glad to see you. I hope you told your people that, to come and share, this interview. Hey, Nature over everything, Naomi. Hey, Nate, what's up, baby? All right. And I said hello to everyone. Action. Thank you so much for coming through. So, Life with TaShonna, I want to start out with, you came on my platform maybe like I think it was maybe a few months ago, I think it was last year. And you were telling me a little bit of your story, how you were brought up. You had a lot of different issues in your family. Some, I think it was with some sexual abuse that you talked about, that you dealt with from, someone that was not in your family, but someone that was around your family, that knew your family very well. Is that correct?
You absolutely have all of that correct, but it didn't only happen one time. This story is like the story of my life. It happened more than 7 times with 7 different people.
Okay.
So, and some were, well, one was family members, and other people is like, how you get people that are very close to your family, so they're like family. Those people too. So it started out with that. I've had a lot of traumas in my life, and God knows this one, the one that hit me the hardest, caught me off guard.
I bet you it hit you like a ton of bricks.
Yes.
Maybe it could have felt like you were hit by a train, because I know when I heard the news about my brother-in-law, and just imagine how he felt knowing that his life was in was in the balance of, maybe being out of here. I know it hit him pretty hard as well. Now you went through forgiveness, and you still deal with that to an extent from what has happened to you in your childhood. not being protected. And then you went through some other challenges, at home. But I want to start when you went to, I think it was Valentine's Day, when you either went to the doctor. Can you kind of start there when you were going to the doctor and maybe something you felt wasn't right in your body?
Okay, I'm sorry for looking off to the side just then. I was
Oh,
making sure
okay.
I reposted it
Hey,
again, so I'll let
I,
my people know that I'm over here at your house.
oh yeah.
Well, what actually was happening was, um, last in January,
Mm,
um, I started feeling like this pain in my stomach. But sometimes us women, we just like, oh, it'll be okay. I'm gonna just see how it do tonight and tonight and tonight. I went on for like 3 nights like that. And the next morning I woke up and I was like, I'm gonna go to the emergency room this morning. I was gonna wait until 10 o'clock after my kids got out to school and everything like that. And about 5 o'clock in the morning, I couldn't take the pain was so bad. I hadn't slept for like 2 nights. And so I was like, oh, I couldn't get past 5 o'clock in the morning. I jumped up and I'm like, I'm just going, I didn't tell anybody. I didn't say anything. I just went to the hospital. When I got to the
mm,
hospital, they did blood work within 5 minutes of me being there. I knew it was something to do with my pancreas. When the numbers came back, normal is 60. My lipase, they're called lipase numbers. My lipase numbers were 1,050.
okay.
So, um, automatically they keep you in the hospital for that, and the treatment is just the IV to flush it, and pretty much no food. So my doctor was thinking, okay, then after a week in the hospital, then okay, let you go home, and the problem should like solve itself, right?
Mm,
So I'm home for about 3 or 4 days when the pain starts to come back. I got up that Sunday morning and I'm like, I want to go. I told my sister, I said, I want to go back to the hospital. She was like, serious? Yes, I need to go back to the hospital. So we go
mm,
back. So we go back to the hospital. And when we go there, my numbers are back up to 754 again. So they keep me in the hospital this time, but this time they get the numbers to start going back down, but they're about to release me again.
mm.
And all kinds of stuff. And so, and just gonna be honest, because sometimes from where I come from, and I like to talk to people from where I come from. Why
Mm,
it's hard, like I'm going to a place and I'm trying to explain to them that I am one, but when you're one that grows up and you talk or you say something and nobody believes you, everybody thinks you're a liar.
mm-hmm.
It it causes you to shut down sometimes. So
Right.
for me, I'm like this is 2 times that I'm going at this, and to control it, the pain that comes along with it, they're giving you Dilaudid, morphine, oxycodone, all of these things. They're mixing them together. But morphine only worked for me for 6 minutes.
Oh my God.
So none of the pain meds were working for me. So not that the people were doing anything, I felt like they were looking at me as if I was like a person that was fiending for like the drug or whatever,
Wow.
because none of this stuff was working for me. So it started to make me shut down. But on this morning when the doctor came, I was just looking out of the window and he could tell that I had shut down. I wasn't talking to anybody or no nothing. So he started to ask me questions, and for me to tell him that I had diarrhea, which was not normal. When you're taking opioids, it usually has the opposite effect.
Yeah.
But just me releasing that one thing to him, he asked me, how did I do with eating? And I was like, it came out just like the IV. So he was like, and I know that might be TMI for somebody, but maybe you
That's
may run
okay.
into this problem and you need to know that you need to tell them this type of stuff.
Right.
So when I tell him that, he says to me, well, I'm going to send you to get an endoscopy.
Mm-hmm.
And the endoscopy was scheduled for Friday, which was Valentine's Day. So we go, and what they're doing, they're transferring me because I'm in the hospital at this time. I have several lives that I was doing from the hospital. Um, on the way going to the hospital, me and the EMT workers, you know how I talk over there on my thing. You know, I'm talking to the EMT workers just like I talk to you all on YouTube and everything. We having us a good old laugh. And I done got them to
Mm-hmm.
talking about growing stuff and everything. And just have an amazing conversation with these people that I don't even know.
Mm-hmm.
And we get over there and I'm not expecting anything because before we went over there, they told me that, well, first I did an MRI before. And on the MRI, it showed something hazy on the MRI. And that the first thing they told me that it was necrosis of my pancreas, which was scary for me in itself because necrosis is like a part of you is dying.
Oh
So
wow.
yeah. So that part was scary. Um so he scheduled because of the haziness that he saw there, he scheduled the endoscopy, which was on Valentine's Day. So now they transfer me over to this hospital and I go there and my doctor had already said probably what they're going to do is remove the necrosis. Um probably clean off of my pancreas because when you have your gallbladder removed, you know, sometimes it can get messy or whatever. And I may have to have a stent put into my pancreas. So that's what I go over with those thoughts in my head, you know. So I'm fine when as I enter the hospital, I'm greeted with a carnation and a card, everything. Everything is going really well. I go in and have the endoscopy and I'm waking up from the anesthesia. And it feels like I may have been woke from the anesthesia maybe 5 minutes, but at the time I'm still, you do that thing where you stretching your eyes like trying to make yourself stay woke or focus.
Mm-hmm.
In that moment, the guy that performed my endoscopy, he sat down in the chair on the side of my bed and he said, TaShonna, you have cancer.
Mm.
And much after that, I don't remember anything. All I remember is getting my sister on the phone and handing the phone over to my sister because I didn't hear anything. I didn't hear anything else. After that, I was so shocked. I was shocked. Um, Last thing I was expecting to hear.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So after that, they drive me back to the hospital that I came from. And it was just because even in going through this, my focus is still thinking about other people.
Right.
So the two EMT workers, they get me out of the ambulance and they was just asking me because I done been in the hospital now for a while. And so they was like, you want to sit out here and just get some air? And I was like, sure. Well, there were two EMT workers. One was Josh and the other was Miranda. I don't know their last names, but I'll never forget their names again. They were really good to me. When we get there, as Miranda is standing on the side of the bed while I'm getting air, she just takes off running. Miranda is crying because I'm such a different person than I was. We went. And so Josh is now, they done left me at the back of the ambulance because he's chasing her to, check on her and see how she's doing. And so it was a sad walk back to that room. And when I went back to my room, I just sat in the dark. I didn't turn no lights on in my room, and I just sat there and looked out the window. I could not believe what was happening to me. Oh. And I heard you say earlier, and it's always like the people who I connect with, it always seems like we have like a similar story, because my first experience with cancer was the same as yours, my brother-in-law. And I actually told this story on my page before that. When he was diagnosed with cancer, I believe and I trusted God like I had never trusted before. And I really thought that God was going to save my brother, not because they say there's healing in death too. But
Right.
that's not the way that I wanted him to save my brother. I wanted him to still be here. He was very special to my kids and everything. Um
Right.
and when he passed away, I was devastated because I had never believed and trusted God the way that I did during that
Right.
time.
You were disappointed.
Yeah, I was very disappointed. And I even had a conversation with God, and I told him, I'm so mad at you right now. You told me to trust you, and I did.
Right.
But that was my learning process of that there is healing even in death. But
Right.
it was just amazing to hear you say that. And I was like, wow, Selena has the same story that I have. And
Yeah.
that was back in 2004 for me. With my brother-in-law. And
Yeah.
so I would have just, out of all the things I've been hit with in my life, I never could have imagined this. And
I'm gonna try to come back home, but when it comes to stuff like this, I'm a kind of a crybaby.
well, it's
So
all right. We'll cry together.
yeah, so I'm sorry, I had to turn the camera off to kind of get myself together. Hey, everybody that came through, I appreciate you. I had to kind of get myself together. Um, so you give you give your phone to your sister
Yes.
because you were just kind of like, I hear you, but I just can't,
Mhm.
um, you're just kind of like shocked, right? And then
I have checked out at this moment.
you
I
checked
can't
out.
hear it. I can't the last thing I remember hearing was my sister said, Jesus. That's all I heard her saying. Um, Even in that moment of me going through, I still feel my sister's pain from hearing those words. So yeah, so it was definitely something to hear. And but the night didn't end that way. My other sister came to the hospital after me sitting in the dark for about 3 hours, 3 or 4 hours. And I had another sister with me that was at the hospital. She couldn't even come back to here. Couldn't come back to here, so she thought I was mad at her. Um,
No,
and
no,
no, I wasn't mad at her. I understood um why things happened the way that they happened, because I would have never wanted her to be in that position ever. But after sitting in the dark for about 3 or 4 hours, my one sister came into the hospital room and she was like, flick, flick. She started turning on all the she started turning on all the lights in there, and she was like, whatever was going on, it got to go. It can't stay. So they came in there, and then we just before we knew it, it was the first part of it was like sad or whatever. But then the next few minutes, it was like we were having regular conversations. So I was able to get back into like a headspace of I'm okay. I really thought I wasn't gonna get any sleep. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get this out of my head. Yeah, it was just it was a whole bunch of stuff. And then um when the doctors came to see me the next morning, um he was like, so he was going over with me what they said at the place or whatever. He asked me, did they tell me anything? I said, yeah, he told me that I had cancer. And he was like, well, we can't go by that right now because and basically he was saying that they weren't supposed to tell me that because the test results hadn't come back yet. But you can't throw that on me and then expect me.
Right.
Yeah, you trying to turn my mind around. Now this guy that you sent me over here to do this thing, he's saying I have cancer, and right now you don't want me to hear what this man has said to me. I'm sorry, but I cannot unhear that. Him and the GI both were telling me the same thing. And so at this point, one of my sisters was trying to explain to me that it could be what you call it? It can show up as a cancer, but it can be it can be
Non-cancerous too.
right. Okay, so
Mhm.
I was trying to think of the word that she used, but you're right. They were saying it could be that, but it could be non-cancerous. So I was like, okay, then you try to hold out a little hope, but when you've been given that kind of news, it's like I want to believe what you're saying, I want to hear what you're saying, but right now I don't have it. So I'm gonna let you be the one to lead the way with that, and I'm gonna be where I am right now. So that went on for a couple of days, and then they decided to let me out of the they decided to release me from the hospital. This was last Sunday. So last Sunday, I just got out of the hospital. So I get out the hospital last Sunday because they was telling me that they don't want me to just sit in the hospital. They feel like it's better if I go home from the hospital because I done been there for a while. It'll be better for me to go and be around family and stuff like that, to get me right. And then the cancer doctor came in, and he was like he was very enthusiastic, if that's what you can say,
He was
about
optimistic.
yeah, he was very optimistic, and he feel like that I can beat this because of my age, but it is an aggressive cancer. Anybody want to look it up? It's called adenocarcinoma, and it is in my pancreas. He said that it doesn't look like it's spread anywhere, but he feels like with aggressive chemo that I could beat this. I mean, and I have to keep looking back at everything that I've been through in my life, and though I've been beat down, I've conquered them all, and I'm still working on that. And then the same thing with this is like, God, haven't I been through enough already? Um, and the top with this, so um, so I get out on Sunday, and I go back. Um, I have my first doctor's appointment, and now my next thing that I'm facing. Okay, I've accepted that I have cancer. Okay, um, and I was just like, I don't want a port. And the ports that I've seen before, I just don't like the way they look or any of that stuff. So it's like I want nothing to do with it. So we having a conversation, and again, as soon as he mentioned anything about the port, I check out
Mhm.
again. My mind has checked out again. So, but I haven't. My sister is there with me, and she listening to everything, and we're recording the conversations that we having, and with the aggressive treatment that they want to give to me. Um, there's no way of getting around the port. So, and yeah, it's been a lot. And then today, last night I started feeling something, and I didn't quite know what it is that I feel. Sometimes I'm more in tune with other people, and I can call other people's things before I can call my own thing. I seem to like disregard myself sometimes, if you say so.
Mhm.
But like I can look at you and I can see something and I can tell you and call it right out and tell you what it is. But sometimes for myself, like I totally disregard it. So
Mhm.
yesterday, I had a really, really great day. And because this Thursday, I'm supposed to have surgery to have the port put in.
Yeah.
And then Friday I start my chemo.
Okay.
And last night I started feeling some type of way, and I just didn't know what it was because I had such a good day. I've been in my garden, and just nothing was bothering me.
Yeah.
Um, and this morning the phone rang out of my sleep, and they threw it on me by surprise that tomorrow morning they're gonna do the surgery to put the port in. So yeah, I wasn't prepared for that either.
Yeah.
So, and you don't, there's certain things that you go to a chemo education class, and there's several things that they tell you you need to do. There's preparation for it. Um, I'm thinking, hey, I got there's things I want to do with my kids. There's things I want to do in my garden. And once you have this thing done, a lot of the things that I do is going to like cease for a little while. So I have an aggressive treatment planned for. I have 3 months of aggressive chemo, and then they're gonna go to remove the cancer, and then I have 3 more months of chemo. So yeah, and for me it's just like it's very frustrating because none of this. I feel like this the first time in my life where like I'm losing control of everything. I have no control of, and I've always been the person to help everybody. I've never had to depend on anybody before. So for me, depending on somebody and trusting somebody to help me is the scariest thing that I don't want to ask anybody for help, any of that type of stuff. So for me, that's scary.
But TaShonna, as you go through this, you're definitely going to have to give up that control because right now you're in a situation you can't control anything. The only thing you can
Right.
control is your frame of mind. And one thing, if I didn't learn anything else from my brother-in-law, was never to give up. Even though he was going through what he went through, he never gave up. He never kept, stopped his routine. He continued to keep going. And that's the advice that I would give to you because of the fight that I saw him going through. So, your family, are they more supportive of you at the point where you are right now? Because I know before, like you said, they didn't believe you. You would tell them different things that was going on with you, and they wasn't as supportive when you were growing up. Are they supportive of you now with you going through this battle. I think you're on mute. So I think she's talking to someone right now. Thank you guys for joining us.
I'm sorry
TaShonna,
about
are
that.
you?
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm still here. I had a knock on the door. Hold on just 1 second, please. Sorry about that.
it's okay. Thank you guys for joining us. I really appreciate it. We just have a little short intermission. But I thank you guys for being a part of this live. Again, this is very heartfelt, not only to me, but to Life with TaShonna. She is fighting for her life, and I believe that she's going to survive this. A lot of things in life come and they hit us very strong, and we have to remember not to give up, and that goes for anything in our lives. You back, TaShonna?
Yes, I'm back.
Oh, your sister's here. Oh, thank you for coming through. Is it Shay? How do you pronounce that?
Shalissa, that's me.
Shalissa. Okay, thank you, Shalissa, for joining us. Thank you, everybody, for coming through.
Yeah.
So,
Shalissa is one of my sisters that I told the story about, that when my mom passed away, she left behind 3 minor children. She was the 50,
yes.
she was the 15-year-old.
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
That I
So,
raised. So
Shalissa.
that's
Okay.
that's my sister daughter.
So, are they more supportive of you now? Your family?
Absolutely. It was not the if I let me see how I can say this. It was a lot of where I felt like I wasn't supported, and a lot of the things that I said to my mom. And I trust and believe, I'm not being I love my mom, because now I understand it in a different way, that some things may have had to happen to her. But her and my dad dropped the ball severely with me.
Right.
In so many different ways. Like when I was growing up, I felt like I was hated. I
Hmm.
always felt that way. And I can look back and I have the stories. I have the stories to prove it. Um, I just always felt hated growing up as a kid. And
Hmm.
it just like it wasn't a part of my life that I ever grew up and felt like. It didn't feel that way. I was never like the in school and stuff. I wasn't that girl, I was the one in the background, you know. And then I look at it too, is that those people who were on the front, um, a lot of them have a lot of issues that I wouldn't ever want to have now. I would have never expected them to turn out the way that they turned out. But it just in every aspect of my life is it's like always was I was in the background. But the people that I have, like my sisters, them, and the people I have in my life right now is definitely, definitely riding with me, supporting me through this. And a lot of I can come on here and YouTube is like my place where I come and vent, because the people that I have to see every day in my life, I could never tell them these things, because I have to see the pain on their face. Like when I'm on here talking to people and stuff on here, I mostly see dots. I see avatars and stuff like that. There's, you make a relationship with your people, on
Right.
YouTube, and it's a great relationship, but it's not like you can see their faces. You have to deal with their emotions and all of that type of stuff like that. And it's not like a I don't care thing, because I do, but I'm saying it's like this is my place where I can come and vent. Some of the things that I say on here, and sometimes my family can be mad at me, because I can come on and say things to people on YouTube that I won't necessarily say to my family, because I
Right.
don't I don't want to have to see or hear the hurt in their voice. For the most part, I never will hear these people's voices on here. They would just type something in the chat and I would just read what they say. You know,
Mm-hmm.
if that makes sense, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I can come on here and I can vent to them about things that's hard for me. And
Mm-hmm.
when I cry tears and stuff, I'm by myself. I tend to not cry, and probably this time in my life with me going through this is like the first time my family ever seen me cry, because that was something else too. That when I was a little girl is like it was always beating inside of you, looking at you. What you over there crying for? I'll give you something to cry for. And so for me, crying is like a sign of weakness. So there's not many people in my family that can tell you they ever saw me cry ever in life. I'm like that person that they look at me and is like, I can handle anything. She the strongest person in the world. In fact, I've heard that 1,000 times since I've been going through this. You the strongest person in the world. All of my kids say, you the strongest woman I know. Um, Never seen me cry before.
Hmm. Each day that you've waken up from this hearing that you have this diagnosis, how are you feeling when you wake up? Are you feeling a sense of hope? Are you feeling afraid or uncertain? Like when you wake up, do you feel like this is just a bad dream?
I wake up in the morning and I do find myself waking up hoping that it's not real. But it is definitely a reality. One of the things that has changed, I hate looking in the mirror. I hate it. Why? I don't know. But to me, I see me different in the mirror. I don't know exactly what it is, but I don't like looking in the mirror. But in the morning, like I wake up and I can feel like maybe it's just a bad dream and then reality sets in. It's like, no, but before it gets to like take control or whatever, I try to get up and get myself just moving around and doing something. And so, you know, my garden is like my place of peace or whatever. And just only today has been like the day that I wanted to run to my garden to get some peace, but it's been raining since about 5 o'clock this morning, like pouring down, pouring down. So it's like I've been inside all day today. Um, yeah, it's just every day is a different day. And I get people that encourage me. And you know, in this time right here, sometimes the encouragement can get very annoying. Just
Yeah.
being just being honest, it can be very annoying because it feels like you're in this place and everybody wants you to be okay, but there's a process to getting to be okay. There's a process to it. You just like if you ever lose somebody that's close to you, of course people want you to be okay right from the beginning, but
Right.
it doesn't work like that. And so I hear them, but sometimes like it just come off and I just be praying that after hearing it so many times, like I don't want to scream, I don't want to yell at anybody, but it's like something that's building is like, and I understand that everybody means well when they say it. And yes, I need the encouragement. Um, but sometimes it feels like it's overwhelming to keep. I don't. It's so confusing this thing, it is a roller coaster ride. Um, there's
Mm.
times when you just like yesterday or the day before yesterday, I was trying to figure out how is it my fault because all my life everything has been my fault. So I'm trying to figure out how did I make myself get this cancer. And in reality, I know that ain't nothing that I did to get it, but it doesn't stop me from looking for an excuse as to why I have it. What did I do to somebody? Did I do something to somebody that made me get this cancer? And for you all that don't know, how could I think that way? I'm a child that was at the age of 5, I was kidnapped. And when my kidnapper brought me back, which thank God he did, I got a whooping. I got a whooping. So when you start your life out like that, you will learn to make everything your fault.
Wow.
Everything. And I have stories like that in my life that's happened several times over. So it's just like one of part of my story, you know.
Does the cancer, when you look in the mirror, does the cancer make you feel like it makes you feel disgusting, like your body's disgusting, or does it, like you were talking about what you've been through with your past? Does that have something to do with you not wanting to look in the mirror, or does the cancer, knowing that you have cancer, makes you feel disgusting?
I don't I don't have times of where like I feel disgusting. I have times when I think about what is the cancer doing on the inside of my body. It's like in my mind I'm thinking, how does this thing work? How is it moving around? Is it moving around? Like what's happening? I think of that. I think looking in the mirror, um, it's almost the same thing as like I can see me on the camera in my peripheral vision, right? But I'm not looking at me. It's like I'm blocking me, but I have direct eye contact with you. I don't know what that is. That's happening. I don't know if I feel like I have a different face. I have to if I look at my face, then my face gonna tell me, yeah, you got cancer, girl. You know, I don't know what it is.
So you're think from what I'm hearing from you, you feel like the cancer is going to maybe distort your looks. It's going to do something to your looks. So you're afraid to look in the mirror to even see the signs of cancer. That's what it's sounding to me.
I,
Sounding like
you,
to me.
you may be right. I just don't know what it is. I never had a problem. As a matter of fact, I made a video when I was in the hospital. I'm in the mirror, looking in the mirror, brushing my teeth, which is something that I do all the time. And it's just after this is happening, it's like, maybe that's my way of not facing it. I don't know. I haven't put my finger on it, and nor do I like try to dwell on it for a long period of time. I'm just like, yeah. And I actually saw one of my videos the other day where a long time ago I made a video and I was talking to women that go to the mirror in the morning time and you pick up everything that you see in the mirror that you don't like about yourself. And in the video I said, now go back to that mirror and find what you do like about yourself and you have a good day. I'm looking at my videos now and having to eat the words that I said that I've encouraged somebody else in.
Yeah.
Um, but I don't know. I don't know what that thing is.
I think subconsciously and maybe consciously, you know that cancer with the chemo does change your body.
Yeah.
It changes your looks. And I think subconsciously that may be the thought at the time, and you're looking at yourself because you have to acknowledge that this is what it actually is. I can't run from it. I'm having to face it, and it's scary.
Yeah.
And I think that you need to realize that it's okay to not be okay. It's okay. Nobody's gonna be. I wouldn't expect anybody turning cartwheels and doing somersaults and being happy that they have been diagnosed with cancer. It's okay. My question for you, I know you said sometimes the encouragement, even though people mean well, it can be quite irritating. What would you rather for people to do to show you that they are still there for you, but not irritate you? What would you have them to do?
I know I haven't thought about that. It's just when you get a lot of encouragement, to me, coming from where I'm coming from, it
Hmm.
almost sounds like that thing, don't cry about it. If you understand what I mean,
Hmm.
it can feel like that. And I know they mean well, but coming from where I come from, that's what it sounds like sometimes, like, and I know that's not what anybody's saying, because I have a lot of people that's coming through that is telling me they've been through it before. They've went through it and they've still surviving 20 years later. They've made it through it. I know that's not what it is, but everybody has a process that they went through in their life that speak different to them. So sometimes when I hear it 1,000 times a day that you're gonna be all right, okay, that's fine and dandy that you saying that I'm gonna be all right, but I'm the one in this. And so there's times I feel like I'm not okay. But it ain't okay for me to say that to you because you want me to be okay. So that's what it feels like. So I've hid my tears from other people for a long time. And so when I keep hearing that again, it's almost like, and though I know that's not what somebody is telling me to do, not deal with
Right.
my stuff, I feel like there's a weight that's on me to not express what's happening to me. So right now, I have to constantly remind myself, you're not an adult in this situation. I'm in preschool. I'm just being introduced to this school. So I got to go through kindergarten. I got to go through first grade. I got to go through second grade. And I can't walk into this like I'm a grown adult because I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know any of this stuff. So I just have to remind myself that you have to be where you are regardless of what somebody else is saying.
Right. And I would say also people mean well.
I
They
know.
do. Some people do, but sometimes you just need to get away from people.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying isolate yourself to the point where you don't, you're just going into depression. That's not what I'm
Mhm.
saying. But sometimes you just have to step away, find something that you enjoy doing, which is being in your garden by yourself, not picking up the phone, just you and your garden.
Well, this
And
what I didn't the garden is one of the things the doctor has asked me to stay out of.
okay,
So um and I currently have to figure out how to work through that because when you're doing chemo, the sun does not interact with you the same way it
yes,
interacts with everybody else. Where everybody else can just get a regular sunburn, it can put third-degree burns on me, blisters
exactly.
and everything. So, and then I have to be covered from head to toe. to be able to
Exactly.
go out there. So, and I'm sure I'll be willing to do some of um some of those things to be able to go out there and do some things. But
Do you
um
feel do you feel like Tashauna that do you feel like God is punishing you?
sometimes definitely in the first couple of days, like I felt like that because I'm just like, haven't I been through enough stuff already? Um, I've definitely felt that. But do I stay in that place? I don't. But it definitely can feel like that with all of the things that I've been through in my life. It's just like, what more? What else? What else
Right.
do I need to go through? So um yeah, it's a whole lot of there's a whole lot of emotions, a lot of emotions that you feel. And I also want to say too, because I don't want my subscribers to feel like any type of way. It's just I'm talking through this process as I go. There are times when I come on and I'm sad all the way down to the bottom. And there's times that I can come through and I can talk to my people on here. And when I get off of my frown has been turned into a smile. I feel like my cup was running over when I came on here, and then I come back and then my cup is empty with the of from the sorrow or the sadness that I felt when I come on came on here. They've listened to me in times when I felt like I didn't have nobody to listen to me. This is where I
Right.
came to when um I began to have all of the nightmares of the things that happened to me before, because I thought because they wasn't showing up in my life and I didn't think about them, I felt like I was healed from them, and they was just somewhere hid in the corner or whatever. And just one day I just started having nightmares about them that was stopping me from going to sleep. And I learned that it was time for me to release it. And when I would come on here, it would be nights where I would try to go to bed and the dream would start off right where it left off when I woke up the night before, because I was like, I'm trying to run from it. Um, and it
Mm,
and it would do that. And after I figured, let me go on here, because I used to journal. I have all of my old journals and everything. So I was like, then journal stopped working for me. I didn't want to do it no more. I didn't feel like doing it anymore. Um so I felt like I was being led to come to YouTube, but I didn't want to do the things that I had to say. I knew they would come with tears, and that would mean somebody was going to see that I'm weak.
mhm.
So um but after I told the first story and I realized that I could go to sleep after telling the story, I was like, "Oh yeah." So, and it just kept happening in that pattern, almost like every 2 weeks or every other month, a different dream would start about what happened to me in my life. And the one that kidnapped me before he came to my mama's funeral
Yeah.
and gave me a hug. So it's like it started there, the just couldn't get that out of my head. I called myself all kinds of names because he walked up to me and gave me a hug. So that those stories got me here to YouTube and start talking about it. So initially, when I first started coming on, I would just ignore the people. I was just coming here to set myself free.
Right.
And after a while, the tears. I still don't like crying in front of people, but it don't mean as much to me as it did
Right.
before. Now, if I was getting ready to get in a fight or something and we was going at it back and forth, then I don't give a damn about no tears. Yeah, I'm willing to let it flow if they was coming out of
Right.
anger, if they was coming out of anger or something. But I think you can relate. You know how that is. Like you get mad about something, the tears start to flow, and that means you about to tell somebody else or something. But
Right.
if crying because I'm sad about something, that would be the thing that I don't want to show. I don't want to show nobody that because that means I'm weak.
No, that means you're strong. Because
Yeah,
to me, a lot of people they think that, crying, it shows a sign of weakness, but really, it takes a lot of courage to be vulnerable and to
yeah,
show people that you are a real person. You're not someone that is putting on a facade like you're strong when right now you're feeling like you're falling apart. I
right.
mean, that's just to me a part of life. And when I recognize that, I start to let that guard down and say, I'll fight in a minute, but I'll cry too in a minute, because a
Yeah,
lot of things is kind of like, especially things like this, is dear to your heart.
yeah,
And that's okay. That's just part, like I said, that's just part of being a human. And
yeah,
I wish society wouldn't have made it to where it's a sign of weakness, because it's not. Takes a
yeah.
lot of courage to show people the real you,
Yeah. And
what you're really feeling.
I think another thing too is with the encouragement is if you've never had that in your life, it make you kind of feel icky on the inside, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what
I
I'm
can
saying?
understand
If
it.
you don't get if people don't give you compliments and stuff like that, see, I'm not accustomed to that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody telling you, "Oh, you look good today," or "You pretty," or "You this," or "You did good on that test," or "You did this," or "You did that." That's not a part of my life. And to hear people encouraging me is not like,
Icky.
yeah, it don't. It's you go back and look at my thing when in the encouragement area, those are things that you probably ain't. I can see them, but I ain't gonna say nothing about them because I don't know what to do with them. It doesn't say anything. It doesn't say anything about those people, and it's fine for me to encourage somebody else and tell them something else, but it's not easy for me to receive it.
And I think a lot of the times there's a lot of different reasons why we go through certain things in
Yeah,
our life. And I believe that sometimes God has different reasons. It's not just one
right.
reason why you're going through this. And if you remember in the live that you did, I think it was a couple of days ago, and you were saying how you're always doing stuff for people. And then I said, now it's your time for people to do for you.
Yeah,
If you have been the person that's always, so maybe God in this situation, and some, I'm not God, I don't know his mind, or his, what he's thinking, but sometimes God will just show you in those moments that now, since you've always helped people, it's time for people to pour into you.
yeah,
You've always been the one that's been there giving or taking care of somebody, or cooking something for somebody, or encouraging somebody. Now it's time for people to pour that into you. You need that at this time. And it's nothing wrong with accepting it. And I hope that you will not allow your pride to not accept the love and the care that people will give you in this time, because what you do for other people in from your heart is going to come back to you. So just expect it, and I know it's already happening now, but expect it even more and accept it. That's God's way of showing you that he is caring for you, that he loves you still, that even though you're going through this and you feel like he's left you, or he's giving you a curse on your life, it's going to turn out to be a blessing in your favor. is going to show you that you're loved regardless of what you're going through. So that's something that I hope that you will accept, because I know that you're a giver. Some people that are givers, it's hard for them to receive, right?
Yep. Uh,
So how are you feeling at this moment?
I feel okay. I'm just like, I've accepted now today that this process is going to start tomorrow. And I'm just kind of like, I'm ready to go ahead and get it done and over with. And I just said that I'm trying very hard because it's easy for me to shut down. I've
Yeah.
done it. I've done it so many times before that I'll bring my page up and then I'll run away because I'm going through something. Then I'll come back maybe 3 or 4 months later, and it's like when you do that, you start all over again. So it's like your channel is called Life with TaShonna. So life happening, just bring the people along with whatever happening in your life. So it's just um and there's different ways that I can bring them along with it. So it's just like me finding my comfortable way of whatever it is that I'm going through. I'm you know, I'm gonna let it happen, and I know eventually it'll turn into and it's just what I like to do. I like to encourage people. Um yeah, that's my thing to do. So I would
Mm.
love there's nothing more I would love for it to do is to be able to turn into something where um I'm encouraging somebody in this
Do you
situation.
have, even though you like to encourage people, do you, even though you're going through all of this, do you have any sense of hope that you're going to be okay?
Um,
Or it's too early for you to answer that?
what I can say to you is I feel like, do I feel afraid of dying? That's one of the things that somebody might say. I don't I don't feel like I have any fear of that right now. What I have fear of is what would it be like for my kids? And again, that's me thinking about other people in this process. What would it be like for my husband? What would it be like for my sisters? You know, but when it come down to it, a lot of it is not thoughtful of myself.
Mm.
Because there's through all of the stuff that I've been through before, there's times that I've asked God, don't let me wake up.
Mm.
There have been times. Now, have I ever wanted to take my own life? Absolutely not. But there is times that I wish that I didn't wake up. So right now it's just like, for me, it could almost be like I can finally rest.
Is that your sense of hope? Maybe not waking up.
I don't want to not wake up right now in this moment, but 'cause I want to be here for my kids. And this is like the confusing thing. It's like one minute you feel this way, but you having the conversation and you just have to answer along with it. As crazy as it can sound or crazy as it may be, it's like there's so many different answers for this. Um, Out of raising 14 children, I have three that's underage that I would love to be here and, until they make it over that 18 threshold. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Um, I think right now it's just my focus is so off of it's so on to the people that's around me that but I know for sure that I don't. My biggest fear in this right here, this whole thing is having to depend and ask other people to do things for me.
Right.
Let me tell you something. I know how to get out, and I will hustle, and I will do what I have to do to take care of me and mine. Never been a beggar. I always figure it out. Always. But sometimes you get to a place, and I think this is one of my places that no matter what you do, you may not be able to figure it out. You may not be able to do it yourself. You're gonna have days when you're down, and then the doctor is saying to me, there's days you're gonna have, and he said, you look like that person that on the days you don't feel like you have it in you, you still fight your way to get up and still make it happen. That's me. I'm gonna still make it happen. I can be sick as a dog. I'm gonna make it happen. And the doctor is asking me, what I want you to do this time is I want you to listen to your body. If your body, I don't want you to get up and I don't want you to fight because you feel like you need to get up and go and do something. I need you to just listen to your body. If your body telling you you don't feel like getting up, moving around, then just lay down all day long. That ain't none of me. I get anxiety. I have anxiety if I lay down. When I see the sun come through the window, I've already been in the bed too long.
Wow.
So it's hard for me to stay in the bed. So there's just more than one level of anything um that's happening with me. Stuff I've never done before as now I'm going to be required to do those things.
Right.
Yeah.
How
So
how is your relationship with your husband now? Has it gotten better, or is it still some struggles because of this diagnosis? Like, how is that going with your relationship with him?
well I think that because I'm one of the strongest women that he know he never thought that he hear anything like this, and pretty much our relationship has stayed in the area that it stayed in. We still separated and everything, but we on the same property, but not together. But even though that, I can I still have sympathy for my husband because he is he ain't dealing with this information that well. You know, I'm not supposed to be the sick one. I'm not supposed to be the one that anything happens to or whatever. And so, um, am I seeing some differences in him? You know, and two, I'm like the kind of person is like, just because I'm down, I'm the one in a bad spot. It's it's almost as if people feel like because I'm in the position that I'm in, that I should just forgive. And it took me a long time to get through to this place. Um, I've worked really hard to get here to where I don't want to feel any hurt anymore. It's like some of the things he said and some of the things he's done to me reminds me of my childhood, like telling me that I don't do shit. So when I feel like that right there is I've worked hard to get to this place of where I've built the wall up.
Uh-huh.
And it's like you need a bulldozer to knock it down right now. And just because I feel like I'm in this place, um, I still feel like there needs to be some work done to be able to get back. to where we were.
Okay.
So I don't know if that like answers your question. Am I
Yeah.
seeing some
I,
differences? Some differences in him? Absolutely, and I can feel that. I can feel like he despises that this thing is happening. I can feel that he's rest does not come to him like it was coming before because I don't there's Selena, there's not a lot of people that see me in a place of weakness. I'm telling you, and if I've been in a place of weakness, nobody ain't gonna know. I'm good.
and this
I
is
can
new for
hide.
you and your children and everybody,
Yeah,
because they're used to seeing you so strong and dealing
right.
with stuff. Nothing, puts you down or nothing
Yeah,
holds you down. You just keep going. So this is a different Tashauna right now.
absolutely.
And so it's going
Absolutely.
to take some getting used to, from everybody that's around you, because they're used to seeing you one way. But right
Right.
now, like I said, you need them.
I can tell you he cooked for me twice today.
That's yeah.
That ain't never happened before. So
So it's like he have more compassion.
yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
That's,
And then
that's a beautiful
and
thing.
a lot of times I forgive people only to turn around and get slapped by them once again, over and over again. So I'm afraid of being slapped again. So it's like I take precautions and I pray about everything that I do. And it's just like if I feel like if my heart is hardened, God help me to, soften my heart to allow
Right.
them back in. But without God helping me, I feel like my heels are dug in the ground and do I want a divorce or no nothing or anything? No, I don't. Me and my husband been together for almost 30 years. Um,
Wow.
do I want a divorce? No. But right now I feel like so firm because I fought and fought and fought. I've tried to do it. I always explain to people that in my marriage, you ever seen Coming to America when he told a girl to hop on one foot and bark like a dog?
Right. Right.
That was me. I'm willing to do any and everything that you tell me to do. And when that was me, he didn't realize what he had, and now he's no longer there. Um, it's a hard pill to swallow, and I don't completely put that on him too because I have to take accountability. Even though I didn't know what to do, my life taught me how to be that person.
Right.
The life that I live taught me to be that person. So there's a lot of accountability um, that I give to myself. Is I always explain it in this way: is if you put a cookie jar out there for your child to get a cookie out of it every day when they come home from school, whether they were good, bad, ugly, indifferent, whatever you want to call it, they still allowed to get that cookie. And then they come home one day and you've removed the cookie jar. You should expect a temper tantrum to happen.
Mhm.
They've been used to getting what they want or that cookie every single day. And as a parent, you have to reward the good behavior and not the bad behavior. They don't just get to get everything, that they want on good
Exactly.
days, bad days, or whatever, because you don't create any boundaries. So I never created any boundaries for my husband. So to him, it's like I'm the weird one right now,
Right.
if that makes sense in that way of explaining it.
Yeah. I would like to say this. Forgiveness doesn't always mean that you give people access again back into
Right,
your life.
right,
So that is the responsibility that we have to take, when it's a person has done way too much and they are not repentive, or they're really not trying to turn and make better decisions concerning us,
Right.
we have to stop that from them getting access even more to our lives. So
Right.
forgiveness doesn't mean keep allowing people to come in and out. You
Right.
know, only you know when I can't deal with it. Enough is enough. I'm not taking this from this person. So only you will know that. But you can forgive a person and be done with them. I don't know you. But it's different when you've been married to someone for 30 years. So that would take some really, I would say, evaluating between, and it's also, it would take communication on what you and your husband want to do with your relationship, whether you guys want to work it out or whether you guys want to just separate. So I want you to focus more on you at this point because you can only take one thing at a time. I
Right.
mean, you have a lot going on. And so right now, I think for you, where you are, you have to now get yourself where you, I would say, prepare your mind for healing. Envision yourself being healed.
Yeah.
And but by doing that, obeying, maybe not obeying is the right word. Follow what the doctors are telling you to do.
Hmm.
Follow what the doctors are telling you to do and get your mindset on seeing yourself at that finish line where you are doing well, where you're back in that garden, where you're on YouTube talking about, hey guys, I'm on the 5th year of being cancer free, so that it will kind of help you, I would say, switch your mind sometimes. But there is going to be days where you're not going to be positive. There's going to
Right.
be days when you're not going to feel like talking and you mad at the world, you mad at God, you mad at uh, this person over here because they doing everything on the sun and they got perfect health and here you are struggling. That is okay too. It's
Yeah.
okay to not be okay. So you're going to have some up and down days where you're going to be positive, you're going to be hopeful. Then there's some days you're going to just be feeling like, I just can't deal with this. I just want to give up.
Yeah.
And that is okay. You are human.
Yep.
Just don't stay there. And you're a fighter. You've always been a fighter. You've always been a survivor. Just from the stories that you've told me, you had to be a survivor. You had to be a
Absolutely.
fighter to get where you are today. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So, and you're going to have to take that, all the things you've been through in your life, you're going to have to do that just like you have to do with this cancer.
Yep.
And nobody has a perfect words to say. So, it is what it is. I know that's going to irritate you for people to tell you, just hang in there, don't give up. That's going to be irritating. But people don't know no better because some people have never been through what you've been through.
Right. And I totally understand that. And they not doing anything that I wouldn't be doing. Like if I knew somebody was down or they were going through something, even if I haven't been through it, I would always remind them I have never been through that before, but I would figure out some way to encourage them. They wouldn't be doing anything, but now I'm that person, and this is another part of learning, I'm that person and I'm in it. And sometimes um telling somebody to not be human or whatever, you want to say it is, it doesn't always feel good to the person that has to hear it. It's just sometimes you
Right.
just have to go through your emotions or whatever. But on the other side of it too, it is the encouragement is a reminder for me to not stay in that place of where I just feel like it's the worst thing ever. I want to see the bright side of this. I want to see the purpose um in this. Um, you know, and then other times I don't want to be in this at all.
Oh,
um
yeah.
I
Scary.
wish that I could just wake up one day and they was like, "Oh, we made a mistake." I wouldn't even sue them. I'm just like, "Okay, great. Yeah, I'm done with it. Thank you for the let me know it ain't real."
Does it help you with what you're going through now? Does it help you to be thankful? It helps you to be a little bit more thankful or of the things that you did have prior to you finding out your diagnosis. Because I know you said before you there was times you asked God that, please don't wake me up. Do you Are you more grateful of those times when you were in perfect health, where it's like, man, I
Well,
didn't
let
know
me
what I had.
in those times. So here it goes again to open up another part. During the time when I wish that I wouldn't um wake up, I was going through something mentally. I was losing my mind. Somebody had put something on me,
Okay.
and mentally I was losing it. I didn't go to sleep for 3 months. So I was hallucinating. Um, all kinds of things was happening to me.
Oh, they were
So
putting some type of dark magic or hoodoo
yes,
or something on you? Oh, okay.
yes.
We,
Um,
how did you find out about that? That's pretty interesting.
well, I went to while it was happening, it was the guy that I was dating
Uh,
that did it. And where I moved from Vero Beach, Florida to here to Orlando. And
mhm.
before I moved here, I would be telling my friends and stuff, jokingly because you don't want your friend, where I come from. I don't the people who I have around me, I don't want them to think that I'm crazy or whatever. I already ain't got that
Right.
many people. So you'd be like, Tyler, I think he got roots on me. I would be saying it like that, but you kind of laugh it off and pretend like it's not really real. You just make it like it's a joke. So I think he got roots on me, but at nighttime when I was going home, it would be scary nights of like I wouldn't be able to go to sleep. It's like something I would go to sleep and I would have this continuous dream that somebody was chasing me with a butcher knife. And every time I went to sleep, the person was getting closer and closer to me. The same dream every single night. It's only the person was getting closer right up on me every time.
Hmm.
So I moved I moved to Orlando, and after I moved to Orlando, it went away for a little while. And I got when I was pregnant in 2003. um it came back. And now that I'm pregnant, there's nothing that they can do about it. I'm losing it, and what they was calling it postpartum depression. But how you having postpartum depression and you ain't had the baby yet? So, but I'm really going through it. So there's nothing that they can do during the pregnancy. And then after I have the baby, they tried to treat me with Zoloft, and Zoloft like added another level to it because Zoloft, when you first start taking it, it makes you sleepy. Especially I didn't sleep. I lost no, not 100. I lost 40 pounds while I was pregnant.
Wow, that's
Well,
crazy.
I wasn't eating or anything during the pregnancy. So I was scared of the smell of food. I couldn't drink water. I was scared to swallow anything. I just felt like it was going to kill me you know, if I put anything in my mouth. So it was a lot. It was a lot of stuff going on. So afterwards, when I had the baby, um, she had, and by the way, this story is on my page. I talked about this before. Um, when I first looked at my baby, She had her pupils was fire, like a flame.
Mm.
And so when I saw that in her eyes, I didn't want to hold her. So I told my husband, I told him to give my baby away. And he was like, "What?" And then I was like, "Yeah, give the baby." I told him to give the baby to his sister. And then he was like, "Well, what about the other kids?" Because at this point we got 7 kids at this moment. And so his sister ended up coming over to me, and it was something like an exorcism thing happened at her house, right? And then when I was a little girl, I was at this church where this man kept he was like giving God praise or whatever, but he kept putting his hand in this ceiling fan and it was chopping his fingers. But you know, back in the days, fans used to be made out of metal.
Oh my God.
And nothing was happening to his fingers. So I was like, he keeps sticking his finger. But as a little girl, I was like 6 years old and I'm watching this happen. After
Mm-hmm.
that happened at my sister-in-law's house, God told me that that's the church that I'm supposed to go to. By this time, this man is a preacher at his own church here in Orlando, though.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went to his church. I started going to his church not long after that. And on Easter Sunday 2004, um we were at church. And at the beginning of the service, he said that God told him to hand the service over to his sister, who was a prophet. And he turned the service over to her, and then she called me to the front of the church. And she do this thing
Wow.
where she blew on me, and when she blew on me, it made like my legs feel like they were weak. Like my
Uh,
legs were gonna go. I was like, wait a minute now. Wait a minute now, what's going on? And I was like, I ain't finna, she ain't finna put me on no ground up here in front of these people. So
right.
she backed up off of me again, and she came back at me, and she like touched me right up, up like where your thyroid is, up under your neck, and she backed up away from me again, and she blew again. When she blew this time, I fell all the way onto the ground. And when I fell onto the ground, I was out, but I didn't hear anything, right? So that Saturday, there it was. I let my kids be in the youth choir, so they were having youth choir rehearsal, and me and one of the other parents was sitting out on the stoop. And she asked me, she said, "So who got roots on you?" And when I turned around and I looked at her, I said, "What you talking about?" She was like, "Yeah, who has witchcraft on you?" I was like, "What make you think somebody got witchcraft on me?" Because now, mind you, I'm telling you this, I was joking about it and talking to my friends about it in Vero Beach. I'm now here living in Orlando. And this lady is asking me something about witchcraft. So like she throwing me off by asking me because I ain't talked to nobody or know nothing about that. And I was like, "What make you think that?" She was like, "Well, when on Easter, when you was down on the ground," she said, the prophetess said that she see candles lit around you, meaning the spirit of witchcraft, and she see God putting them out one by one."
Now that does happen. I have heard that. Like I said, it happened to one of my grandmothers. Lady
Mm-hmm.
put roots on her as well. It's very prevalent in the South, so I
Yeah.
know about that. But I want to get back focused on your journey right now. Uh, what would you tell? Say, for instance, if just say you were another person
Mm-hmm.
and it was a person that was going through identical what you were going through, what would you say to that woman that's going through what you're going through?
Hmm. I don't know if I would say anything. I really I don't know. Um, I probably would give them a hand to hold, a hug, squeeze them. And probably along the journey, I may say something later on in the journey. I don't know. Um, but all the time, it just your mere presence, or you just being there. Sometimes it doesn't require any words. Just to know that somebody is there for you. I don't know. But that would be that would be classic me. I always find some kind of way. But me walking in this right now, I would have a better answer for you when I get on the outside of this. I would have a different answer for you, because you know how they say, you can't witness to somebody if you ain't never been through anything before.
Right. Yeah.
So there is some things that I've been through, and when I see somebody and I know somebody going through something, or I can feel it, I speak with all confidence. There's nobody that can shut me down and stop me from saying whatever it is that I'm saying. And whether they admit to it or not, I can walk away from it with my head held high, because I know what I'm talking about. I know what I see. This right here is I ain't never ventured down this line before. So it's like I'm showing up to school and I'm learning. I have no clue. I'm clueless. So
When I
I don't know
think
what I
about
would say.
when I would think about your situation, that's where I came up with that title, Psalms 23.
Mhm.
Walking through that valley shadow of death, it's so uncertain. It's
Yeah,
it's one of the lowest places that you can feel, and you're trying to, and it's dark, and you're trying to find your way through that valley.
right.
Isn't that how life is sometimes?
Yep. Walking through a bunch of black curtains and you pushing them out the way, but they steady falling in front of your face.
Right.
That's exactly that's
Right.
exactly what it feels like. And it's times when you just want to forget what it is, especially whenever I know my kids can see a difference on my face. My 15-year-old definitely. She can see, like, I know that she can see the difference on my face. Like, that was her. She constantly come over here where I am. And I know she can tell the difference, but when she comes over and everything, I try to mask what it
Mm-hmm.
is that I'm going through. Um, and I would tell you I have to be a fool to think she don't know. But I don't you know, trying to trying to explain this to them when I don't have a lot of the answers. I tell them what it is that I know, and if they got questions or whatever for me, you know. But
Mm-hmm.
I know that my kids look at me and they can see that there's something different without them actually knowing. But yeah.
I've never been a mother yet,
Mhm.
and I don't want to speak out of turn. And I hope you don't take it offensively when I say this, because it's coming from a good place, maybe a place of ignorance. I don't know. But what I wonder, and sometimes I would think that your children they want to see the real you, because at the end of the day, none of us are all the time strong.
Yeah.
None of us have the answer. None of us are confident about what we're going through. And I think the best thing you could give your children, especially those that I already know anyway, because
Mhm.
we don't think children know, The children watch and they see and
Right.
they pick up on things. They're intelligent and they already know that mama's hurting. Mama's not in a good place right now. And I think for them just to see the authentic you, because even though you're going through this, you're still strong. You just right now, you feel a little weak. You feel a little disappointed. You feel a little angry. You feel a little confused. The
Yeah.
best thing for them to see is you and not try to put up on the front like you got it all together and you're okay when you're not.
Yeah.
Just be you. Just be
Yeah.
you, T.
I understand
Mhm.
too that if that's what I'm doing, then it's also teaching them to pretend like you're okay when you're not okay.
Because
So
guess what? Life is gonna hit them like this.
yeah,
God forbid, the same thing. But
yeah,
God, life happens to all of us.
yeah,
Some of us might not talk about it, some of us may, but life will hit you hard, like you've been hit by a train. Like the title, walking through the valley of death, shadow
yeah,
of death. Life is gonna hit them like that too because it's a part of the life experience. So let people
absolutely.
see, especially those that mean something to you. Let them see you. You don't have to put it on the front for those people. They love you.
Yeah.
Let them see you. You don't have to be strong all the time because guess what? That's not realistic.
You're right.
It's
Yep.
not.
I know it. I tell everybody else that, but again, as I say, the things that I'll give to somebody else, some kind of way, I miss myself with those things. And let me tell you,
Mhm.
when you said that you're not a mother yet, this is what was screaming in my head when you said that, but you are. Um, all mothers are not mothers that give birth. I have 14 kids, but all of them I did not give birth to them. They came via somebody else. But I know that I mothered them and I did all of the things that you would have thought a mother that gave birth to them would have done for them. And so I know that you in a field that you are a mother to more kids than I could ever have mothered before. So um yeah, you're and let me tell you when it come down to a mother, you got all kinds of titles. You're a nurse, you're a doctor, you the preacher, you the teacher,
Right,
you the bus driver, and you the
right.
disciplinary. You come with 500,000 titles when it come down to that, and I know you done filled every last one of those. Make sure they get something to eat. So yeah,
Right.
but I
I'm
understand what
gonna
you're
ask you
saying.
two more questions, and then we're gonna end this, so you can get some rest. The other question I have: what would you tell the little Tashanna that's in you? Because we all have that little girl, that little boy in us. What would you tell little Tashanna today?
Well, what I have been telling little Tashauna for about 2 years now is all of the things that I was saying was my fault. It's not your fault. And I've been consistently having to do that. All of the things that I was ashamed of, all of the things that had happened to me, and I had made them all my fault. It's like you don't have a choice. Like I can look at my kids at those ages when those things was happening to me, and then you looking at an adult, and then you all of a sudden you comparing that. If my baby is only 6 and 7 years old, then what the hell could she do with a person that's 20 years old? Nothing. Nothing. So you can't take any accountability for a grown up standing over a child doing something that they ain't had no business doing. So I tell her constantly, it's not your fault.
Awesome.
Mhm.
What's the last thing that you would like to leave us for tonight? The last words that you would like to tell us on this live?
Hmm. I'm gonna say it just like I always do over on my channel. Um, I'm a high class gardener, and what does that mean? It means I'm growing something at all times, and whatever it is that I'm growing, I let it be a manifestation to what's happening in my real life. Now, it's been a little bit hard to accept that now because I'm going through what I'm going through, and my garden looks absolutely amazing. So, right now, it's like, how could it be? I had this conversation last night. How could it be that everything is, my garden is manifesting what's happening in my real life, and I'm getting the news that I'm getting? But being a high class gardener is just making sure that you're growing something at all times and making sure that you grow along with the things that you're growing out in your garden. The high class part is we don't mess around with no bugs, no snakes, no worms, and no frogs. And anything that's human that's associated with those things, you can have a bugaboo, a snake, a little worm,
Right,
or
right.
whatever. We don't deal with none of those kinds of people. So keep on growing, my friends.
Oh,
So
no, that's right.
that's what
Shout
I
out to Tashanna. Well, guys, you heard the story, you heard her journey, and this is just part of her journey. She still has a ways to go, but I'm looking forward to the great news that you're going to tell us all pretty soon. And guys, sub up to her. She very inspirational and very encouraging to a lot of people, just an encouraging person. So please sub up to her, especially if you need any tips on growing anything. She has the green thumb, y'all, so y'all definitely need to check Life with TaShonna out. Commander had put her link in the chat, so sub up to her. If you would like to bless this live, I would appreciate it. You can either super chat or cash app Selena Star. I would appreciate that. TaShonna, do you have a cash app that you would like to maybe put in the chat?
it is $ life with Tashauna, the same as my channel name. That's it.
Okay, guys, and say it one more time for us so people will know, if just in case they would like to cash app you.
$ life with Tashauna.
All
And
right.
I appreciate y'all for everything, and thanks for all the prayers and everything. And I always say tenfold, whatever you ask God for me, I ask Him to give it back to you 10 times what you asked for from me.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Randy. And I'm going to say this last thing to you. I want you to allow people to support you. Allow people to show up in your life, because you showed up in everybody else's life. It's time for you to allow other people to show up in your life. And I ask that you put aside that pride and allow the love to come in, because it's coming. It's everything that you have given out of your heart is going to come back to you in tenfold. So allow it. God is blessing you through that. Do not dismiss it. Okay. Do not say, oh, I don't deserve this. Take it. Receive it. Okay. Because it's just like in your garden. When you plant something and then it starts to grow and it becomes that plant, or it becomes that fruit, it manifests into what that seed was, but it actually grew into what it was supposed to be. And that's just how life is. Life is just like that. The things that we plant, the things that we put in that soil, those seeds, it's going to develop. And so everything that you have did, those seeds that you sown into other people's life is going to come back to you tenfold. You need to receive it, and don't allow pride or the feeling of I don't deserve this. Accept the love.
Okay. I
Accept
got
it.
you.
All right. And also, I know people are going to be coming to you with encouragement. Thank you so much, T1000. People are going to be coming to you with encouragement. They don't know any better. And some people, they don't know what to say. So they think that
Right.
what they're saying is helpful. Accept that too. Because
I
guess what?
understand.
You're gonna have to go back on those words and to help you
Absolutely.
get through the day. Right?
Absolutely.
So the word that I have for you is to accept the love that is coming for you.
Yes, ma'am.
Don't make me come to Florida and whoop your tail, because you know I can fight too with these nails and all. But
We don't need you
I'm
to
just
take no
saying,
flying
this
here
is,
from Texas.
yeah. So don't do that. If you want a Texas beat down, you keep playing with me if you want to. Thank you so much, T1000. I appreciate you. But you guys sub up to her. Did you have a good time? Did I make you feel comfortable? I want you to be honest.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Every time I have a conversation with you, I always feel like we partners. And so, no, I literally feel like we were just talking on the telephone, having a good old conversation, because I can't see the chat or anything like that, but I appreciate everybody that came over and said and listened to the story. I'm gonna have to watch it back and, see. But, no, I absolutely, I feel like I can do this over and over again. So,
Okay. Well,
very
I'm
good.
glad that you felt comfortable, because that was my goal, to make you feel comfortable, to give you an outlet. And the other thing I would suggest that you also, if you have never thought about it, maybe counseling might be a good thing as well, especially with this time that you're going through. Because
Yeah,
sometimes, our family loves us, our friends love us, but they have their bias and their opinions, and sometimes we need somebody that's a little bit objective, if that
yeah,
makes sense, that can help us to see all types of different sides of the matter. So if you've never thought about it, maybe this, if you can consider it, but if you're not comfortable with that, I understand that too. But I know that you're going through such a hard time, and it's always good to have somebody to talk to you, especially, well, that not, I wouldn't say talk to you, someone you can talk to,
right,
because a lot of the times family talks to us instead of listening to us, right?
right.
And they don't mean no harm. That's just how family is. That's how friends are.
I
So,
think
uh,
we got a pretty good balance of that. But you're not saying what you're saying to me right now is just confirmation of what we've already been talking about already. Is that because in the Black community we always, it's like a stigma or whatever when you consider counseling or whatever, and so I've heard that all of my life. You don't go to no counselor or no nothing. But I've actually had two counseling sessions, but it's I haven't made it like it's a priority to get it
okay,
done.
well, make it a priority. Don't
Yeah,
make me come
yeah,
to, I'm telling you, don't make me come to Florida, because I got a lot of folks in Florida too. I got folks all over the world. So don't make me
really.
come to Florida and visit you and
Well,
get on to you.
If you come to Florida, it's gonna be a good time. It ain't gonna be it
Yeah,
ain't gonna be
but
that you
yeah,
got to
I
get
have to
on.
book it now.
I'm gonna get it right.
All
Um,
right.
I'm gonna get it right. I
Well,
appreciate y'all. I already see somebody sent me a cash app just in. I really appreciate it.
thank you
God bless
so much.
y'all. Thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
so much for sending. And I'm gonna just step out of here and say this. I don't like doing this on YouTube because people are so weird. But I'm gonna just take you as a sister, older sister, because you really give me those sister vibes. I like your spirit, and you're so authentic. There's nothing pretentious about you, and I really like that about you. And I told you when I first, talked to you, I said I like her spirit, just very down to earth, just like a down home type of person, and that's what I love. Though I really do. Reminds me of people that I know. But I definitely will keep you in my prayers, and I'll be checking on you too. I ain't gonna say too many encouraging words, but I will definitely let you know
No,
I'm
you
there
can
if
say
you
them.
need me, because you told us how you need for us to support you. You really just sometimes just let us know that you want us to let you know that we're there for you. You don't
Yeah.
need, it's gonna be all right. So now, since I know what you need, I can give you what you need. So, and I'm going to extend myself to you, and I don't do that anymore on YouTube because I've been through too many nutcases on here. So I definitely will extend that to you because of our connection. So, and I just appreciate you. I appreciate you for giving your time to come on my platform to tell your story, because this is not an easy story. I mean, I was crying earlier. I'm like, oh my God. And I felt bad because I think I was making you cry, because I was like, oh Lord. But it definitely was a story that needed to be told.
Yep. And that's
And I,
throughout whatever else is coming up. And I like to have real conversations, point
right,
blank, period. And just because I'm going through this right here doesn't mean that um I like having all kinds of conversations. This I don't want this to become the thing that I'm going to talk about every single time. So the same
right.
way you used to invite me to other conversations and stuff, I
I
still
sure
that
will.
that's what I still want. I just genuinely like real conversations where people have differences of opinions, because we all come from different places and spaces. And so, conversation. I just like talking to people. Period.
I know you do, and it's a blessing. So please sub up to Life with TaShonna if you can. Support her monetarily. I'm pretty sure, and I know she would appreciate it. And I just want to tell you, you are always welcome on my platform, especially when I have the women to come up. If you're feeling well, you can always come up and give me your advice. Give us your advice. Like I said, guys, she's a jewel. So I hope that you also share this particular live on your channel as well, so people
Right.
can see this. But thank you so much, Life
You
with
are very
TaShonna.
welcome. You are very welcome. It was a pleasure being here. It's
It's a
not
pleasure to have
easy.
you. All right, I'll be checking on you.
Okay, then. See you later.
All right, love you to Reese's Pieces.
Same here.
Guys, thank you so much for joining us today, tonight. Like I said, this is really a heartfelt live. Like I said, a lot of the times we are all in a valley. Sometimes we on the mountaintop, then we on the valley. But thank God for people that support us, and there's people that are there for us. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope everyone have a wonderful night. If you gave me a cash app, if you gave her a cash app, if you gave me a super chat, if you, I would say even, gave your comments in the chat, if you press the like button, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. And remember that Selena loves you to Reese's Pieces, and I appreciate everything you do. Y'all have a great night. Bye.
Selena.
It's a vibe, baby. Oak Cliff girl. Can't make you change my world. Damn, you're so fine, girl. Oak Cliff girl. Put them heels on and rule my
Welcome to
world.
Selena's Couch, where you are welcome to be free to be yourself. So you can lay your head on my couch, on my pillows.
It's all good, we can do whatever we wanna do now. I'm in my bag right now, and I got a feeling, babe, yeah. You gon' be my number one lover. Spend the night making love to each other, with the lights on top of the covers, just me and you, babe. And I feel like you're
Love you to Reese's Pieces.
Get you a word. Nana nana boo boo.